An illegal alien who was acquitted of murdering Kate Steinle sues the federal government for filing charges against him. Wow, he admits he shot her in the back, and the virtue signaling lawyers are now representing in a lawsuit. The good news is the globalists are starting to lose their stranglehold over national sovereignty and over people's minds. But they are filing thousands of lawsuits a week that we know of against liberty movement, against police departments that do their job, against conservatives, against Christians, you name it. And now, remember the lady that got shot in the back by the illegal alien who admitted he shot her and they wouldn't even charge him with manslaughter? The jury wouldn't even convict him of manslaughter. And he went free, deported 4 times, all sorts of background crimes. Well, then we tried to go out to a vigil after she was killed, and the jury, as virtue signaling, let him go. And they had Antifa there with guns, not letting Owen Schroyer go on the park, and the police did nothing. We have video of that. Well, now he's suing the feds for persecuting him, ever even deporting him. Illegal alien who was acquitted of murdering Kate Steinle sues the federal government for filing charges against him. Wow, he admits he shot her in the back, and the virtue signaling lawyers are now representing in a lawsuit, and San Francisco and Oakland and all those cities are saying, resist ICE, even when they have warrants, even when they come for MS-13, resist, resist. The governor says we're standing against this when it's federal jurisdiction. Imagine in Mexico, you know, when the police are having shootouts with drug dealers or whatever on the border of Cancun, trying to keep it safe. And I like Mexico. I wish it would come back. Imagine if the Mexican federal government was told, you can't come into a city and you can't deport people that are here illegally. They'd shoot you in the head. I mean, no one puts up with this crap. So this is open sedition. Leanne, get into it. This is amazing.
Right. So we have this illegal alien who was acquitted of murdering Kate Steinle. He's now suing the feds for vindictive prosecution. And so, as you mentioned, he wasn't charged with manslaughter because the jury said it could have been accidental.
But manslaughter means accidental.
Right. But they did convict.
Won't even give him 5 years, man. Blew a young woman apart.
They did convict him of felony possession of a weapon, right? So we agree he's a criminal. He had 7 previous felony convictions and had been deported 5 times before finding sanctuary.
And he was obviously mentally ill. The big problem is we don't have mental institutions anymore.
Right. And so now he's just saying that he's being subjected to unfair treatment. President Trump tweeted out how it was a disgraceful verdict in the Kate Steinle case. No wonder the people of our country are so angry with illegal immigration. So now,
but he says he shot her in the back.
But it could, it was an
accident. I just found it and boom, shot her in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But imagine having to just protect your political ideology, protect your wanting to push for sanctuary state so much that you know what's going on, but you'll just breathlessly fight for this guy. And if I was a taxpayer there in California, these are their taxpayer dollars that are paying for his defense. And can you imagine Kate Steinle's father? So now not only does this guy, pretty much get off free, but now his tax dollars are going to pay for this guy's defense again. And we have, ironically, in order for him to prove his case of vindictive prosecution and collusion between state and federal law enforcement, they're demanding all the records of communication between federal, state, and local law enforcement. But California is specifically battling them to restrict that cooperation. They don't want the state and the federal governments to cooperate. They don't want them to share information. But now
what it is a disaster. And let me say this, California is beautiful. It's amazing. But I can't go out there anymore because the people are like crazed-eyed lunatics, especially the white people. And I'm not just saying that to be virtue signaling. It is weirdo, neurotic white people leading this. I mean, you look at the Huffington Post articles where like, hey, anti-gentrification are beating up white people and running them out of neighborhoods, and it's weird white women leading a bunch of young minorities to go beat up white people.
Right.
I mean, and then if you punch them back in these towns like San Francisco, we have people on, they indict where a man punches you, you punch him back, the police arrest you, and then felony charge you if you defend yourself.
Right. No, it's gone crazy. So on the one hand,
well, it's like you said, they have to defend this ideology, so now they won't even convict people. And now MS-13, that's a scourge on especially Hispanics, they won't even stop known murderers or deport them because no, they're angels. Everyone is allowed to not go to jail.
Right, because of course all of this was happening in 2015, lead up to the 2016 election. And that was such an important thing for them to be able to push for these sanctuary cities, sanctuary states like California, that they had to let this go. You know, that they're not going to defend this woman, this poor woman who had her.
By the way, have you been out to California lately? I mean, it's scary.
Yeah, I mean, I don't enjoy going to places, especially the large cities. Now, I know
I went to Seattle,
California, that get so upset because they're like, it's not all of us. We know you guys. We know that there are actually a lot of conservatives in California, but your voice is suppressed. If you're not in one of these bigger cities, you know, you're kind of like stuck voting the way they do.
Well, there's also massive election fraud.
Right.
I mean, you saw the video in Seattle. I went there, and it's a beautiful area, a lot of nice, cool stuff, but crap everywhere, feces all over the place, heroin heads everywhere, and then weird leftist craze running up screaming, "You're a Nazi, F you," and they look like goblins.
I remember this video. But to just have California battling against being able to communicate with state and federal government so that the immigration officials, there's no communication. They don't want them to help them whatsoever. We've got the mayor there sending out the call. Hey, by the way, there's going to be an ICE raid. Protect yourselves. You know, so they want to absolutely have no communications. But unless they want to go and defend this illegal alien, then they want to demand to know what type of communication. I mean, it's just.
Could you imagine, though,
laws for the American citizens in this country?
I mean, can you imagine, though, you've been in Mexico, you know how bad many of the cities are, the hundreds of thousands dead. You're just up there trying to become a citizen. They made it really hard. Trump's trying to make it easier. And the Democrats want it basically impossible, so you have to be in their little underworld of their control. Because let me tell you, that's what's really going on, is feeding on these people. Right.
Well, you have like a 60% of Mexican Americans there in California who are for these tougher immigration laws. They don't want it to just be willy-nilly. Like, they moved away from a place that does not,
it's almost 70% in Gallup polls, and you know it's higher than that, of Hispanic Americans. You go, yeah, we have borders, and you got to deport people that have committed felonies.
Right, we want to live in a country that abides by the rule of law. We don't want it to descend into a third world country. So, you know, but we're not allowed to hear that side, or we're not allowed to hear from those people. They're called all sorts of names by people that are in their own racial demographic. You know, you're a traitor, whatever. But meanwhile, it's really actually people who have just gotten out of that democratic prison,
Why are blue cities always have like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times the crime, human feces all over the place, and just crazy people everywhere? What is wrong with leftist cities?
Well, and honestly, that's why I love being back in Austin with you guys and being here in the safety and comfort of the Texas Central Command Center, but I don't feel safe on the streets of Austin anymore. It's weird. It has a really weird vibe here now. The energy is just totally different.
It's kind of like Seattle meets L.A.
Yeah.
And
everyone thinks they're so cool and they know so much, but they know absolutely nothing. They're living in a total
I cut through downtown yesterday because of traffic, and I was looking at the people all trying to act cool and standing out on street corners, and it was just so nerdly, and they were all alone. They were all by themselves. No one was talking to anybody. They all had smartphones. They were all getting ripped off to go to South by Southwest, and it was like, these are the follower chumps.
Right. These are the people who are demanding that your First Amendment get taken away, or who, as we've got, you know, Agent Pye at the FCC and others warning us that these are the people who are going to decide future election winners. These are the people who are deciding what information you're allowed to have.
And by the way, to a person, when we go up with cameras, they say, we want to get rid of free speech of conservatives.
Right.
And it's like, man, they really want to assault us, because you take somebody's speech, next you take all their other freedoms. We got Khan here in town and the head of YouTube saying, take our free speech. Folks, you can fight back. We're going to win this battle, but it's for all the amendments. You know, the second's next. We need you to go to InfoWarsStore.com. We have the very best products out there. And with a lot of the allergies and issues and breathing things going on this time of year, let me tell you, without lung cleanse with all these key essential oils and things. Leanne was saying, you know, when she got to Austin, she felt all the seasonal discomfort, all the pollen. You were saying how much this helped you. It's up there. We've got the new Super Silver formulation that has come out that is in a spray bottle that is concentrated, not just with the patented form of really strong, powerful silver sol nano silver. It has iodine as EDI, and it has deionized water, stevia, peppermint essential oil, and more. And it's also disinfectant for the hands. It smells good for the breath. This is our newest product, 33% off out of the gates. So it's $9.95. There is $3 of product in this. Ladies and gentlemen, the other leading brands of similar stuff has like 30 cents of stuff in it. This has $3 of product in it. I want to explain. Leading competitors, 7 times markup. At the regular price, it's got 150% markup. It's a low-cost item, so we have to have a little bit more markup to be able to do it. Right now, though, it is at $9.95 out of the gates. Get it today, part of the Super Blue family of products.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
I'm a nasty woman.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
An illegal teenage immigrant from Honduras has been charged with killing his mother. Funes is a so-called dreamer protected under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA.
A truck had smashed the family's car on the right side. That's where Lennox was sitting in his little car seat. Border officials say Banda is a Mexican national in the country illegally. He's been deported 15 times in 15 years.
Villa Lopez has a sordid story that includes a prior deportation and identity fraud, in addition to the sexual assault of a friend's teenage daughter.
But I have a simple message today for every gang member and criminal alien. We will find you, we will arrest you, we will jail you, and we will deport you.
He was deported a whopping 8 times, suspected in a deadly hit and run earlier this week.
He's charged with sex abuse, sodomy, burglary, robbery, assault, and kidnapping. Court records show he's been deported and returned 20 different times.
The father of 2 killed in a horrifying crash. Police say that the driver was a drunk, unlicensed, illegal immigrant.
According to an ICE news release, he is a known gang member and has been previously deported 4 times.
Tonight, police say an illegal immigrant with a blood alcohol level 3 times the legal limit slammed into the back of an SUV carrying a family of 4. He had been arrested just hours before this crash.
A woman telling deputies she was sure she was going to die after deputies say this man, Juan Ortega Orozco, broke into her home and crept into her bed.
He's in this country illegally. He has a rich criminal history of violating the law.
In the past 2 years, he's been charged with 5 felonies, including trafficking meth and leaving the scene of a crash.
Jermaine Daniels says in a change from under the Obama administration, federal agents now appear to be rounding up any undocumented person they come in contact with.
Federal agents eating breakfast 1 minute, arresting restaurant staff the next.
Illegal border crossings are down reportedly 70%. Arrests inside the country are up 40%, and demands for removal up 80% as well.
But, you know, we can't apologize for enforcing the law. If you break the law, that's a choice that you make, and there are consequences for that.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Fuel your body with Carnivore, the new digestive enzyme product by InfoWars Life. Digestive enzymes assist in the digestion process and increase the bioavailability of nutrients by breaking down foods into easily absorbable components. They also help prevent discomfort from indigestion caused by fermentation of undigested food particles in the gut. Digestive enzyme production declines as we age. Carnivore is filled with digestive enzymes like those naturally present in the body. Enjoy the full potential of protein-rich foods again. You can eat protein-heavy foods now while minimizing the later indigestion and discomfort commonly associated with high-meat diets. Just one pill with every high-protein meal helps increase the bioavailability and absorption of amino acids, the building blocks to your muscles. Carnivore also contains digestive enzymes to help digest fats and carbohydrates so you can fully digest all types of meals. Don't let a meal go to waste. Use Carnivore by InfoWars Life. Head to InfoWarsLife.com and secure your bottle now. That's InfoWarsLife.com.